Hello, everyone. Come on in for book club number 36. Let's do this. Tell me if my Wi-Fi connection is okay, though. Hi, guys. So today we're going to talk about authenticity, self-love, self-worth, what it means to really manifest your highest self. So come on in. Can you hear me clearly? Can somebody just tell me if my audio is okay? Simply Carrie, can you just tell me? Katrina, you're reading my book right now as we speak. Sounds like running water. Yes, I'm outside and there's a fountain here, so sorry. But can you hear me clearly? Okay, good. So let's get going. Let's talk about authenticity. Let's talk about self-worth and self-love. So the way I describe the greatest self-love that we can have is that all our actions are grounded in self-love. What does that mean? It means whenever you choose to do something for yourself or for others, it first must be grounded in self-love, so that in the act of the doing for the other or the self, there is completion. I'll explain. You know how people often say, I did so much for her, I did so much for him, I spent all my life giving, right? Especially the givers in the book, they typically bemoan how much they give. But here's the thing. If you're giving from inauthenticity, if you're giving from a needy, dependent, craving place, it is actually an inauthentic giving. Because you're giving to get something. You're giving to achieve a goal. You're giving because you need something. So that giving is not authentic giving, because it is not grounded in self-love. That giving is grounded in self-need, in self-craving, in self-denial. It's coming from some sort of need, yes? So that giving is not authentic giving. I used to do a lot of inauthentic giving when I was playing my role of giver. I was giving out of my marriage to my own idea of giver. Most of us give from an idea, from a need, from a dependency. It is with a subconscious desire to achieve love and worth. Therefore, it's inauthentic. It's bullshit. But it's really hard to accept that. You're like, I gave my whole life. Yeah. But can you accept that you were giving because you wanted to take? Now, how do we shift that to authentic giving? It's okay to give, but please give from a different intention, from a different sense of self. Now, as we develop love for the self, as we understand that only we can fill our own holes, that only we can really complete ourselves, when we begin to do the work to heal ourselves, then we grow in our own self-celebratory capacity. We grow in our own self-validation. Now, we can now begin authentic giving. Authentic giving tunes into self-love, where every act of giving is a manifestation, a reflection of your own self-love. Meaning, don't give if it's not a reflection of your self-love. Say thank you, no thank you. If you tap in and you check in with yourself and you realize that this person who I'm giving to, your child, your partner, your friend, your sister, is because it's an echo, an outgrowth, a spilling over of your own loving yourself. Then you can give, but you realize that in the giving is the receiving, because the act is your own self-love. The act is not about the other. You love yourself through the loving of the other. So when I am a mother, when I'm mothering, there are many moments that I'm cursing, okay? Like, wow, why do I have to cook food? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And I hear my bullshit, lots of cursing, okay, in my head. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything as a mother anymore, right? So when I hear my grumbling, I then go, hey, you didn't become a mother for Maya. You became a mother for you. No one asked you to become a mother. She didn't ask you. She wasn't screaming for you, please save me. You're the only person who can save me. Please, I want to be your child. No. You did it because you wanted to be a mother. So therefore, loving her is not about loving her. Loving her has to be about loving you. So zip it and enter self-love again. Don't enter this fear-based scarcity space where you think that you're doing her a favor by loving her. So many of us do this nonsense, this inauthentic giving in our head, because we are coming from an inauthentic place within us. So we act as if giving is about the other. Then when things go sour, we're all upset with the other person. We're resentful, we're angry. We're like, oh, I was taken for granted, right, Karina? I was taken for granted. And you play the martyr and the victim. It's all coming from your ego, from your false self. It wasn't real giving in the first place. So givers get really screwed because they give, but it's all fake giving. It's coming from need, but they were giving, but it was coming from need, and then they don't get anything back, and they're so upset. Givers really get it. They're like, I should have just been a taker. Yeah, you should have been a taker, fool, right? If you want to next time, if you have a next life in a human form and you have to choose a archetype, be smart. Be a taker, okay? Since you're doing it inauthentically anyway, at least do the right one. So, you feel used, you feel manipulated, you feel exploited. Nobody on the outside used you. Nobody on the outside manipulated you. You were playing your role out of need. So until you wake up to that, you will be filled with anger, filled with resentment, filled with martyrdom and victimhood. Oh, people always use me. People always take from me. No. So the radical awakening occurs when you are able to tap into authentic giving. Authentic giving has nothing to do with the object of the giving. It has to do with the self, meaning when I give to this person, am I giving to the self? Does giving to this X person outside allow me to give to myself? When you can achieve this state of wisdom or awareness, now in the giving will be the receiving. So therefore, the other person has nothing to do with you. So if they don't give you back, like most children are, it's a one-way street mostly with children. You know, the other day I told a 16-year-old I was counseling. She's like, parenting, my mother parents me and I should give back to her. And if she asks me to do a few things, I should do it, which she's right. But the mother was guilt-tripping the kid, and telling the kid that, she has to be there for the mother has to be there for the kid. And I told the kid, I said, no, when you're a kid, parenting is kind of one way till you grow up into an adult. So, same way with our giving. It's one way, meaning don't give if in the giving there is not the receiving. You understand? If in the giving you do not achieve your highest expression of self-love, don't give. Especially after 40 years old. Don't give anymore. Don't be with people you don't want to be with. Stop being a martyr in your life. No one is giving you points. I used to be waiting for my place in the land of angels. No, there's no land of angels. There's no prize. There's no trophy. Nobody is giving you a prize for being a martyr. So, don't give unless it's authentic giving. So now I check in with myself. After 40, you got to stop your bullshit giving. Because when you bullshit give, you have tremendous ego. You have anger, you have resentment, you have martyrdom. You're playing all your roles. And then you feel entitled to your anger. But you created the whole dynamic. You co-created this whole thing. Parental giving, somebody's asking if that's the exception. It's the exception till your kid is an adult. After your kid is an adult, it's not a one-way street anymore if you don't want it to be. If you want it to be, go ahead. But till your kid is kind of 17, 18, 19, you know, their brain or their minds are occupied by aliens, you know. Your kid can't be expected to give you and take care of you. So many parents enter the parent-child relationship for it to be transactional. Well, what are you giving me back? You have to give me respect back. You have to give me your allegiance, your loyalty. No, they don't. Children don't need to give you anything back. You had them. Now, of course, you want them to be obedient or you want them to be decent, of course. But they don't owe you anything. They will do it if that's what's coming for them. Okay? So, this conversation right now is for you, especially the victims and the martyrs of this world, the ones who feel like they're always the givers, right? I want you to reframe your understanding of giving. Now, as you become an older woman or man, stop your bullshit giving. Check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I giving from an authentic place? And if I am, what that means is in my giving is the receiving. What that means is that in my giving is actually the greatest act of self-love. If it's not checking the box of self-love, I will not give. So, when I give to this person, I say to myself, in my giving this person, I'm loving myself. I love to love myself so much, and this is the person who makes me love myself so much. You understand? It's not about I love you so much, I'm giving you so much. No. I love myself so much when I'm with you that I give you. When you begin to give like this, it's authentic giving. And therefore, you feel complete in the act of giving. You don't feel depleted in the act of giving. You feel completed in the act of giving. This is a radical awakening, especially for incurable givers, especially for most women. So, yes, how to tell this to Indian mothers? Sacrifice is glorified in our culture. Exactly. If they are not Indian women in my culture and maybe other cultures too, oh my goodness, if they are not sacrificing and martyring themselves, then what's the point? Right? So they give only to complain. They give only to show that they are giving. Otherwise, there's no point of giving. No Indian mother wants to give in silence. She must give with a big, oh, I'm so tired. I've worked so hard. Indian mothers are so amazing at it. And then Indian daughters learn that that's how they should give. And the bullshit continues through the generations, right? So Indian mothers know this. They don't like to accept this, but all Indian mothers are the poor me. I've worked so hard. I gave my whole life up for my children. My husband is so ungrateful. My children are so ungrateful. Right? This is the songs of the Indian mother. Okay, I'm sure of the Jewish mother and the Portuguese mother as well. But anyway, not to stereotype. It's just something that we've been conditioned for because we have learned to get love and worth from being self-sacrificing. So if we're not going to be self-sacrificing and sing it off the rooftops, how will we get love and worth? So after the age of 40, if you really want to radically awaken, come on. You got to stop this bullshit. You got to stop getting love and worth from your role of being self-sacrificer or the good one or the lovely one. Burn that. Kill that. Who cares if you're lovely or not? The point is not whether other people like you. The point is whether you are joyful, whether you are radiating, whether you are empowered. Stop waiting for people to give you applause. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. It's not even worth it. Because you know, the people who you want applause from are so unconscious. Why do you want applause from unconscious people? Really, why? You have to ask yourself the question. Why do you want applause from bloody unconscious people? When you begin to see people for their unconsciousness, you're like, why am I being a slave for them? Now you begin to pick and choose and curate your life. You decide where you want to spend your energy, and you choose how you want to give. So, check in, tune in. Do I want to give? Do I want to say yes? Do I want to invite this person? Do I want to go for this party? Do I want to love? Do I want to say anything to this person? Anything. Do I want to say a word to this person? Check in. Let everything you do be an echo and a manifestation of you loving yourself. Don't do it if it's not an act of loving yourself. Now, this, my friends, is the most radical message. It will change your life. But you have to do the work. You have to end your role of being Miss Pleaser, Miss Sacrificer, Miss sitting in the wings, Miss Apathy, Mr. Do it all. You got to stop. Do all that if it's genuinely about you. Don't do it for the other. Do it because in the doing, you are your greatest, highest self. Now that is not transactional giving. That is transcendent giving. And that is not even giving, that is self-love. Everything needs to be an expression of self-love, otherwise don't do it. Don't do it. The furniture you pick, the clothes you wear, is it you? I check in, I talk to my clothes. Do I want to wear you today? By wearing you, am I going to feel my highest, beautiful self? The furniture, the cups I drink from, the food I eat, everything, for the most part, is deliberate, is intentional. I don't have objects in my house that are not reflective of my greatest love for myself. No, I don't. So choose your life. Curate your relationships. Declutter from the dysfunction. Start streamlining your life so that every act and expression is a reflection of your greatest self-love. I'll see you when I see you.